Hey everybody, Tracy Brown here. Welcome to this episode of Momentum, where we come together to build a momentum for interrupting or ending race-based hatred and violence. If you've not been with me before in any other format, the 30-second introduction is that I am the president of Intentional Inclusion Incorporated, but I'm also the moderator and founder of a Facebook group called What Is Mine to Do, where we ask ourselves daily, what is mine to do to interrupt or end race-based hatred and violence? So in the work that I do with corporations, associations, and community groups and leaders all over the country, we focus on all different aspects of inclusion, including people who are different from one another, either culturally or genetically. And that encompasses so many different categories, yes? However, for Momentum, which is specifically connected to the What Is Mine to Do Facebook group, we focus specifically solely on the impact of race-based hatred and violence. So the other thing you should know about Momentum, if this is your first time, is that I do my best to keep it to right around 15 minutes or less. And that way you get a tip, a technique, a trend, or something to think about and take into your week without getting bogged down with having to take lots and lots of notes or pick up an entire technology around an approach. So tonight's Momentum was really inspired by a book that was written more than 25 years ago. Just because I'm Latin doesn't mean I'm Mambo. And it was a success guide that Juan Roberto Job wrote, really targeting people of Latin descent, the Hispanic and Latino population, to encourage and inspire and give them tips for being successful. But it was also really, 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 really well done in a way that people who wanted to shift their relationships and shift their understanding of employees and colleagues who are Hispanic, that it gave them a lot of information as well. And so I was actually reshelving books on my bookshelf and came across this one and stopped to look at it, because part of what I was doing was trying to decide what books to keep and which books to hug and thank for all that I had learned from them and which ones, to pass on. And when I picked up this one, I was like, that is such a great title. Just because I'm Latin doesn't mean I'm Mambo. And tonight, I'm not actually going through the book as much as being inspired by the title, because what it reminds me of is how often we operate based on stereotypes. And if we want to build a momentum for being respectful, I could say inclusive, but even if we don't get to inclusive, if we simply want to be respectful of people who are from a different racial ethnic category than we are, then it's important that we recognize when we are making assumptions that most often are just based on stereotypes. Assumptions that are based on things that we've heard other people say, or assumptions that are based on what we've read or what we've heard in the news or in the media. These assumptions that we think of as fact, and then we go and have a conversation with someone. I probably will never forget at one point, not too long ago, when my hair was in locks and my locks were way beyond my waist. And I was in the grocery store on this particular day. And there was a white guy, probably, I'm only 5'3.5", if you've never seen me in person. This guy was probably easily 6 foot tall. And a big guy, not, just a big guy, tall and big. And he came up behind me, which was a little bit of a problem just in terms of gender and just in terms of safety, because he came up behind me and I could feel someone coming really fast and really as they got close. And so it did make me turn and angle a little bit. And as I was turning to angle just a little bit, and I then could see him, looking up and seeing this guy approaching me, he smiles really big and he says, "Oh, is your hair real?" I thought, is my hair real? And I guess I looked at him a little funny, and he said, your hair, like, is it yours? And I thought, is it mine? Well, even if it wasn't mine from my hair growing, if I had purchased it, it would be mine as well. So I'm a little slow to respond because his presence caught me off guard. His question was strange to me. And then the follow-up question was a little insulting. But I also could see that he was so proud of himself. And I thought, this is interesting. And I didn't get to have a long conversation with him, because honestly, in the moment, all I wanted to do was get away from this stranger who was asking me about my hair and then went on to tell me, yeah, I was talking to the guy back there and we said, yeah, it's not her hair. He said, no, no, that's not her hair. Those are extensions. And I'm thinking, I'm in the grocery store and there are two men talking about my hair. Two men I don't know. Two men I have never met. Let me buy my little bananas and whatever else I came in here to get, and I'm leaving. So I wasn't mad about it, but by the time I checked out and I got in the car, I thought, oh, he probably went to some diversity training that told him he should be curious and that he should initiate friendly conversations with people from a different racial group or people who are different from him. And he was trying to do his homework. And it made me laugh because I'm like, his stereotype was, right, that it couldn't be my hair, it was too long. or Black women, wear extensions and, do stuff with their hair all the time. And that's sometimes true, and it's sometimes a stereotype. And so we just have to be aware. Now, that's a fun and a light example. It's not one that could get you into serious, serious trouble. But it helps me think of how many times, or ask myself, how many times have I gave someone a compliment, but it was based on a stereotype? How many thousands of times have I heard people say, oh, she's really pretty for a girl her size? Or, oh, she does this, or she looks a certain way, or she speaks so well for someone of her race. Or, he's really articulate, which of course is an insult because you expected him to be, someone Black who only speaks in street slang and doesn't know much. So it's always important to ask ourselves that question. Am I actually giving this person the benefit of the doubt? Question: am I assuming some things about this person that, based on the context and the location that we're in, really kind of makes no sense? It's just something that's stuck in my head, a story that I've heard many, many, many times. So just because someone is a member of a specific race or ethnic group, comes from a specific culture, be really careful about whether you assume they can or cannot do something, or that they should or should not be doing something. A quote that I keep in mind a lot to remind me, and I use it in coaching quite a bit: your assumptions are your windows on the world. Scrub them off every once in a while, or the light won't come in. Do you love that? Your assumptions are your windows on the world. Scrub them off every now and then, or the light won't come in. And when I first saw that quote, I found it fascinating. I loved it, the quote. And I was curious. The first time I saw it, someone showed it to me the way I just showed it to you, without the name of the person who was being quoted. But I was curious. And so I went to look it up. And when I looked it up, I was, honestly, if I'm 100% honest with you, I was surprised, because this is not a person who I would have expected to say this. And the quote is from Alan Alda, the actor. Alan Alda. Alda. Ooh, that is a typo. Let's fix it really quick. Let's see how fast I can fix it. Let's see if I can fix it if you count to 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5. Alan Alda. Your assumptions are your windows on the world. Scrub them off every once in a while, or the light won't come in. If you're scrubbing the windows of your assumptions on a regular basis, you won't go up to someone Hispanic and assume because they're Latin, they can Mambo. You won't go up to a Black woman and assume her hair is fake. You won't go up to a Black man and tell him how articulate he is, reflecting that your assumption was that he wouldn't be. You won't go to someone who is of Asian descent and ask them, where are you from? Like, no, where are you really from? Even though they were born and raised and they're fifth generation American citizen. So watch your assumptions this week. That's what I want you to do. And if the book title helps you remember that, or if the Alan Alda quote helps you remember that, then that's great. And then I hope that you'll join me again next Monday at 8 p.m. Central Time for another quick episode of momentum. My name is Tracy Brown, and I'm so happy you joined us. Please join me over at the What Is Mine to Do Facebook group. I'll see you there.